Good evening. Thank you for joining us tonight. Hello, this is Shemsu-t. We're so excited to welcome you to Ignite Your Soul Connection Season 8. 8 years. Actually, it's 7.5 years because we do a half show. We did a half show last year. Or this year, we did New Earth Children, which made it 7.5. So that's why we're calling this season 8, just in case you guys are wondering. And I'm so excited that we have new coaches, older coaches, and our topic is going to be amazing. But before we get started, let me actually give you a little bit about who I am and Ignite Your Soul Connection in Masterforce. So I will be your facilitator tonight. My name is Shemsu-t or Rita Stewart. Some of you know me by both, whatever. Either one is great. So we actually started Ignite Your Soul Connection in December of 2011 with the intention of creating an avenue to introduce the spiritual aspects of the healers, teachers, light workers, gurus in our own community. I mean, some of these people live right next door to us, and they have a wealth of knowledge and experience and compassion and joy to share with you. So we actually put together that first year, we put together 15 nights. Now, since then, we realized that 5 nights is plenty because it does take a lot of energy to bring this to you. And so it's in a generous nature. We're sharing this as a gift. And so we hope you receive it in that way. We have 5 nights of Ignite Your Soul Connection tonight all the way through Friday. Now, Masterforce itself started back in 1990, where we actually started teaching a group of young people how to meditate and find their spiritual essence. So I'm dedicating tonight's show to the original Masterforce mothers, and that would be Angela Stewart and Catherine Winston. And I call them Ma'at Shri Ta and Akah Harit. It was the 3 mothers, and we actually spent a lot of time sharing this information with our children during the early 90s. So now, I know you don't want to listen to me all night, so I am excited to bring to you tonight's conversation. And actually, this whole week is Coaching for the Soul. And tonight's conversation, we're starting with how pain heals. Isn't that exciting? Did you know that pain was intended to heal? Yes, it is. It's intended to call our attention to something in our life that is not working. But if we focus on it, we could actually get a lot of information and move it forward and actually probably gain something really significant. A major gift. So we have 2 of our Masterforce coaches with us tonight who's going to share their experiences and how they've used pain to heal their own life. And I'll chime in from time to time. But right now, I want to introduce you to one of the younger members of our team. And her name is Angel Denman. And it's been wonderful getting to know her. So, Angel, why don't you come in and introduce yourself so we can get this topic going?
Hello.
Hello.
I'm ready.
Yeah, okay. So why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about yourself and, let people get to know you.
Okay, so my name is Angel Denman, and I live in Chicago, Illinois. I'm a transplant from Jersey. Yay, Jersey.
Yay,
So I'm a Jersey girl in the Chicago world. I love Chicago, and my transition to Chicago has brought so many opportunities and opened so many doors. And one of those doors was to Masterforce coaching. I've been wanting to be a coach for over 15 years. I remember talking to a girlfriend of mine and we used to talk about life coaching and, oh, I want to be a coach. I'm going to become a coach. And I actually pursued other coaching schools or teachings, and none of them spoke to my spirit. And then I met one of the Master Force coaches, and my daughter says, Kiana's a coach. And, I'm like, really? So just upon an introduction of talking with Kiana and knowing the principles that she lives by and stands by, I wanted to become a Master Force coach. And it didn't take not even a month. I'm like, here's my money. I think I paid her up front. Here's my money. I'm ready to get started.
That's wonderful. And then what year was that? Because that was what, 2015?
15. Yes,
Yes.
2015. Yeah.
Wonderful. And then what were you doing before you actually started doing coaching?
So prior to receiving my Master Force coaching certificate, I currently work for a law firm, a big, well-to-do law firm. That's my 9 to 5. I don't really talk about it that much, although now that I have obtained my knowledge and information and how to use my knowledge and information from Master Force, I really use those techniques in my job, and I really like it. It actually opened up like a bigger window for me at work from my 9 to 5. My husband and I, we also own a house chicken. So come see
Yay,
us.
plug. Go ahead and give the address.
Is 124 East 35th Street. However, I do use it there as well because we do a lot in the community. We employ the community members, and we are really active in the community. And you find yourself navigating your way through certain situations where having this information and knowledge is very beneficial. It's beneficial to you having the knowledge and also being able to share and receive. So it's been great.
I do want to just say a little bit more about the work that I've seen you and your mate do in the community. And I remember when I came into Chicago from Tennessee, I was in a car with maybe 3 other people, and I drove past your Harold's Chicken, and I saw a sign that said, "We have alkaline water by the gallon." Oh, I got so excited. I mean, I think I took a picture, I put it up on Facebook, and I was just present to, wow, I mean, what a gift to the community. I mean, if you're going to eat Harold's and deal with some of the side effects of fried food and mild sauce,
right,
and French fries, you might as well have some alkaline water to get that lactic acid out of your body, right?
Yes, yes. But we feature another young lady who is an entrepreneur as well, and she does healthy meals. So as you know, I'm a competitor. So she was doing my meal prep, and my husband, James, he said, I want to buy some of Tamika's meals, and this is really a true story. When he instantly started enjoying her meals. He had a build out for her to put a refrigerator in our store just for her meals.
Wow.
It didn't take off as successfully as we wanted it to because, people are really coming to Harold's for fried chicken, not grilled chicken and asparagus and brown rice. But we do still offer her meals. We offer them.
That's
if
wonderful.
People want them.
Yes, and we probably need to do a little bit more, just letting the community know that it's there, because there are people that need healthy food choices and they just don't know. You can alternate. So that's good to know that it's there. So okay, well, sorry to interrupt. Now go ahead.
Further, I have a passion in fitness, so I am a certified group fitness, certified personal trainer, and I am an IFBB pro bikini competitor.
Now, what does that mean?
The International Federation of Bodybuilding is the Arnold Schwarzenegger, under that whole umbrella of bodybuilding, but I'm the bikini girl. So I have some muscle, not as much muscle.
But that's exciting. That's why you work out all the time.
All the time.
You're very inspiring, by the way. So thank you. Thank you for your post and all of that you do.
Thank you.
And then now, are you consider yourself a fitness coach, or what is your coaching specialty?
I'm not a fitness coach, and I could be because I am. I've been doing fitness for years, since 2006 as a certified personal trainer and group fitness trainer.
Mm-hmm.
I just I was so focused on myself, and I'm still currently competing, and it takes a lot of energy.
Mm-hmm.
So to do, and with teaching and being a personal trainer, keeping my, change together so I can afford to compete, uh, that it takes us so much energy. It's a lot of energy. And once I retire, if I retire from competing itself, then I would look further into it.
Very good. Very good. Well, thank you. And thank you, Angel, for actually stepping into this spotlight. And, everybody doesn't step up to do Ignite Your Soul Connection, because it does require something. Anytime you start sharing yourself, the
Yeah.
universe says, well, let me check you out for real.
Woo! You said a mouthful. I've been getting checked out since the day Kiana asked me, and I said yes. I'm like, what is going on?
Yes, yes. So we'll hear more of your story. I want to go ahead
Okay.
and bring Alanda in so we can talk to her and get to know her, and then we'll start into tonight's conversation. All right. So hello, Alanda, Aretha.
Hello, everybody knows me as Alanda Gregory or Goldie. I I am from Chicago in Dubuque. I am a transplant of many transplants. Dubuque is now on the top cities to visit in the United States. It is a cultural community. It's arts and cultural community, and been here since 2013. A MFC coach in 2012. Yes, I did. I had to think about 2012. Yes, and my background basically, I am a mother of five, grandmother of.
Wow.
Yeah, well, this is one. It's just one family. This is my oldest daughter, her blended family, and my background mostly has always been in customer service. My day job, I work as library assistant, so I'm like the assistant to the manager. And one thing I can say, the MFC has helped me so matured a lot. I became an adult when I finished this course. My that was pretty much like a me. I officially became an adult. um, had me take the court to get involved with MFC. Now people don't know I her niece. She's been doing this for years. I can say decades.
Mhm.
I qualified to be a coach before 2012. I just didn't know it yet. I was introduced with this work when she books and books on top of books. Um, this information became available to me early age, and just like me, and we weren't interested yet, but we're gonna talk about it about pain. That's what brought me to doing the work and being coach, so I can work it out. So I can like what I want to help people, but I had to help myself first, and I've learned a lot. The biggest, like I said, it matured me greatly. Matured. I have wise beyond my years. Actually, really like an L. Not technically, but I consider myself an elder. I have so much knowledge that I've been sitting on, and I actually can use the knowledge instead of just blurting it out and know this knowledge. So it made a big difference because I can actually see the difference how I have not been present to myself all this time. And what else? So that's the biggest difference. The biggest difference it made in my life, it matured me a great deal. And how I use this work, well, I use this work with my clients. I do a lot of different listening because I was not a listener at first. wasn't listening. I wouldn't listen to people. I did listen, but I didn't listen. And I never understood why a lot of people would talk to me. Strangers would talk to me. So what really worked, I'm a better listener. I've used a lot of practices that I do with I know what works for me. And I've used a lot of the work with just my friends. I've actually used too much of it because I a friendship as being a coach, and a lot of people are not ready for that conversation. So I can't coach my friends, and that was one of the things I've learned as a life coach. But I like, oh, I can help my friends this just one time. I can help them this one time. So that's what that's me in a nutshell. I a lot of, like I said, I do a lot of research, a lot of work. I help in the community as well. My husband has so we are in an entertainment business per se. So I'm a character for him. We social light. So I am I'm versatile, but what I am first is a networker and I love to talk. So I found a way to put all that into.
Very cool. Very cool. So now I'm not sure what it is, but it seemed like from time to time that you go in and out. Now, is there something about the mic that interferes? Because it wasn't doing that earlier. Okay.
Yeah. So
just
so can you hear me now?
I can't, but it seems not. But it seems like maybe when you move or something.
When I'm
and I know I can't have you sit still, but that's I'm not sure.
I could do it because I get animated and I move around, so I can do that.
Okay. So so just be mindful that it goes in and out. And okay. All right. So we're going to get started. And what I want to let the audience know is that if you have Facebook, we have a fan page called Ignite Your Soul Connection. And we invite you to go over to that page if you have any questions that you would like to ask us, because we do have some of the coaches following the page, and they will send us a message so that we could actually share your questions with Angel and Alanda tonight. Okay. All right, so now I'm going to go back to Angel and start with Angel. And the first thing that we want to really talk about and delve into is like, what is pain? Like when you talk about pain, what are you referring to? And, give us that backdrop.
So pain, to me, there's some confusion that people have with pain, and some people they will confuse disappointment with pain, or anger with pain. Pain is something that just breaks your heart. It's internal. It's very emotional. It's something that you feel, but it's not anger. It's pain. Is heartbreak. It's hollowness. It's empty.
That's the emotional side, right?
That's the emotional side. Correct.
So now, how is, and I'm not sure if this is a fair question for you right now, but when people talk about psychological pain, when people talk about spiritual pain,
right,
physical pain, are all of those different regions?
Well, yes, they are. From my standpoint, they are. Physical pain, we pay attention to it immediately. You cut yourself, you clean it up and you bandage it. And if people tend to know that physical pain, it can be temporary, depending on the injury, because it's physical. Now, if you're talking abuse pain physically, then, that's different. Almost like I would say domestic violence. That's still physical pain. But, that carries through psychologically and emotionally. So they are the feeling of the different levels of the differences of pain. They all have a different feel depending on what's attached to it. Physical pain has a temporary attachment to it. Psychological pain, people don't realize it can have a forever, long lasting effect of it, because some people, they become, even from their psychological pain, they become depressed. And it
Mm.
goes deeper and deeper and deeper because you're internalizing it, because you're not recognizing it for what it is, or you're not acknowledging it for what it is.
So, for yourself on the journey of using pain to heal, what
Hmm.
which one of those did you come into contact with? Was it psychological pain, emotional, physical? Which was it for you?
Psychological pain and emotional pain. Physical
Mm.
pain, I can tolerate. I can
Mm.
tolerate. It sounds really weird, but I can tolerate physical pain, the emotional pain, and the psychological pain, the stuff that gets to the core of your gut. That is where my growth came in.
Okay, well, tell us more about that.
Um, I actually have psychological pain and emotional pain from my childhood, stemming from my mom, which I'm still working through. And that was a part of my forgiveness that'll come in later this
Hmm.
weekend. I don't recall ever having a positive, loving uh, relationship with her, with my mom. And it was downright, it was abusive in terms of psychological pain. I see you ladies are looking lovely, and you are all made up. And one of my psychological pains is that I have a hard time wearing lip color,
Mm.
because I was always told I was a big lip heifer, a
Oh.
liver lip, and things like that, things that would diminish a young girl's, you know, psychological self. And my self was diminished to the point where I didn't think that I was attractive. And other people would say, "Oh, you're so attractive." And I could barely say thank you, because all I was told is that I had big lips and, you know, all these other things. And it just wasn't pleasant when your parent would tell you that. So, not knowing that I was scarred from that until like I was became a teenager. And someone said to me, "You're a really pretty girl." And I was like, "No, I'm not." And he said, "Why would you say that?" And I said, "Because I'm not." I never placed a value on how I looked because of the diminishing that I received.
Hmm.
That still, you see my lips, they have no lip color. It's
Well, that's
still,
you don't need any though, but that's okay.
but you do. You don't need it, but there are times that you want to, you know,
Hmm.
put it on and feel more adult or whatever. And I just really have a hard time looking in the mirror with lip color on, because to me it pronounces my lips.
Yeah, that's really great because you're actually pointing to a place where you still hold yourself back
Hmm.
from full self-expression because of whatever you believed about what your mother said.
Right.
Yeah, so that's great. It's great that you're exhibiting, that there's growth to do. So when you were healing, were you able to heal some of that pain, and how do you know that?
Yeah, I think I know certainly I was able to heal some of the pain. Um, and I think that's really when, like, it was a long while that I held on to it. And as you go through your womanhood, you hit 21, oh, I'm grown. 30, oh, I'm getting old. Something happened to me at 35, and it ties in all my stories of pain. But at 35, I decided to make certain decisions for myself, that I will not accept what I didn't want to accept. You will not talk to me any type of way. You will not treat me any type of way. And I remember on my 35th birthday, I hit my hand and I said it with a fervor that you will not talk to me any type of way. And I'm not accepting this type of behavior. You will respect me or it's over. And I remember saying it. It had such heat to it. I think I might have just shook the earth, my own little
Mm.
earth. And that
Mm-hmm.
was at 35. And at 30, and at that moment, I know with certainty, with absolute certainty, my whole life changed. It changed. I became more vocal. I started doing things. I came out of my box. I started competing at 40. I did my first competition at 40, which it causes you to have to compete. You're showing off your body. So I'm up on stage in a thong bikini, expressing myself, expressing my hard work, which I would have never done that in my,
Yes.
younger years. Not on the stage where you're being judged.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of things happened that led up to that point.
So for you, the turning point was when you created this boundary
Right.
of self-worth that said,
Exactly.
no, that's yours. You stay over there with that, but I will no longer, definitively no longer accept that. If not just from your mom, but from anybody. You
From
didn't allow.
anybody. It
Mm-hmm.
is so ridiculous how vocal I am now, which I wasn't always vocal. And people think I was always vocal. I wasn't always vocal, even though I had this little fire, Mama Leo. So my fire wasn't as explosive as it is now. It was at a hum. I didn't get picked on. I didn't get bullied because I'm not going to let you just steamroll me. However, I took a lot. It took a lot for me to explode. Whereas now I'm just going to express myself so we can keep everything on a nice little center.
Yes, that's powerful. That's powerful. And
Yeah.
then, so now, what is your relationship with your mom like?
Okay. Let me breathe.
Mm-hmm.
It is it's troubling. Uh, there is a lot of healing to go through, but I really think that I know that the healing is not on my part, it's on her part. I do forgive my mom for whatever it's five of us. My mom has five children, but we weren't raised together. And
Mm-hmm.
even people that I graduated high school with, they don't even know I had siblings. So
Mm.
everything was like, whatever happens in my house, you don't tell,
Yeah.
that type of situation. So I had no outlet. I had no one to really talk to. So my mom has some forgiving of herself to do. She
Yeah.
has to forgive herself because she's so angry, and she's actually really hurting, that she's lashing out at people who forgave her already. Like my
Mm.
siblings, we off. My brother was the biggest component of my forgiving her before he passed away. I used to be a little disrespectful because of the way that we did grow up. And
Mm-hmm.
one day he said to me, as a grown woman, he said, "Look around." He said, "You're doing great. You're doing fantastic. You can take care of yourself now. Who cares what she did? Who cares? Aren't you taking care of yourself?" And
Wow.
from that moment, I had a releasing because he was right. Everything that happened in our past, well, we are grown now. We made some decisions. Some of us made decisions to heal ourselves, and some of us didn't. And I chose to heal myself. But when he said, I had been working on myself, but when he said that, it put it in perspective. Like, come on now, get a hold of yourself. Let it go. And I let it go. But in my reaching out to my mom and still trying to have a relationship, she hadn't forgiven herself.
Mm-hmm.
So her anger and hostility kind of like pushes you away because it's very bitter and it's very harsh. Um, and it's very painful because who doesn't want to have a relationship with their mother? And how I flip this is because I think for years of going through this, I'm 48. I've been going through this all my life. I actually become numb to it. So I always flip the feeling where it brings the emotion to me. Like if I'm just focusing on what I went through, I'm numb to that. I've adapted. But if I flip it and say, wow, if my daughter didn't want anything to do with me, that would literally tear me apart.
Mm-hmm.
Literally, it would tear me apart. It would break my heart if I'm reaching out to her and she doesn't want to take my calls, or she doesn't take my calls. If we
Mm-hmm.
can't go hang out, if I know she likes something and I want to purchase it for her, just because my daughter today, she came here and she bought me some gifts for my dressing room. And, just here, Mom, I bought this for you, and we're going to really hook this up. The relationship and the bond that you develop with something that you brought into this world. To say I wouldn't have that, that would literally tear me apart. So I understand why my mom is angry, and I understand why I don't understand why she don't forgive herself.
Yeah. So I want to take you in just a little bit deeper. Because the work that we do at Masterforce, we literally do take on the overstanding that we chose our parents.
Right.
Like literally, like we had work to do here, and parents had to be a certain way for us to get that. So if you actually look and take on that you chose your mother,
right,
what were the gifts that, and I can hear that I don't know if you've ever articulated them, but I can hear that you have them. What were the gifts that she actually gave you by being the type of person that she is?
The gifts that my mom gave me is funny because as I was given this assignment, everything kept coming to surface. Now with the sexual abuse situations, my mom, like, she would always talk about certain situations, like, don't let this happen to you, don't let this happen to you, talk to me, tell me. She would always speak about, don't trust this type of person, and be careful. She taught me how to be careful. She taught me how to self-defense, which I have a lot of. I'm defensive. So she really taught me a lot of self-defense. She taught me how to really take care of myself when you don't have anything. She taught me how to rely on myself. Don't ask anybody for anything. If you don't have it and you can't get it, you don't need it. Now that is really to her core. She taught me self-reliance, self-assurance, and to stand on my own 2 feet.
Now, have you shared that with her?
I did this weekend.
Oh, wonderful. Wow.
Yeah,
And
I
then
did this weekend.
how did she receive that?
She started crying.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah.
And how did that land with you? Just being able to do that with her?
Well, because I've been doing the work, and I knew when I was recalling the feelings as they were coming up, I knew it was because it was put in my face. The questions were being asked, so the answers had to come forward. So I wasn't afraid to tell her. I wasn't even shy to tell her. I hugged her, and she was crying, and she said, she kept saying, I did the best that I could. And I said, I know you did, Mom. I said, you taught me so much. And I was whispering in her ear, and she was just bawling, and Mom, stopped crying.
They gave her so much. They gave her so much. Thank you. I'm just so moved by that you could make that kind of a difference with your mother in healing your own pain. I mean, that's just very powerful, and thank you for sharing that.
Absolutely.
Wow. So now I keep hearing you say, breathe. So what are some of the things that you do when you're having, like when you had to go see her and like even confront your own sense of pain? What were some of the processes or things that you had to do to balance your energy?
Well, when we were going to the East Coast, we already knew that my husband James, he was going to go see my mom, because every time we go, he goes to see her because she never wanted to see me. And she would make it absolutely clear, if she's with you, don't come. But I would be in a car. She just didn't know it. And then this time, it was so funny. We had it coming from every level. So when I was going through all my practices to get to this point of talking live with you, it came to me like, by the end of 2018, I'm going to call my mom, because I haven't spoken to my mom. I haven't spoken to her since 2012.
Wow.
So I said, I'm going to call my mom, and I'm going to give it one last chance, one last shot. But I didn't act on it. So when we were going there, James called my mom, and he said, hey, I'm coming to visit you. And She said, "Is your wife with you?" And he said, "I don't know I don't know how he responded to that." And she said, "Well, I want to see her today." And he said, "Okay, I'm gonna make a phone call." But I was sitting in the back seat of the car.
Wow.
So when he hung up, he said, I can't make this up. I won't play around because I know how you guys are." He said, "Your mom wants to see you." And I said, "Okay, let's go." And I just said it like that. I said, "Come on, let's go." And he said, "Man, I've been praying for this. Like, how am I going to get them together? How am I going to get them to see each other?" And I said, "James, my stomach is hurting. I'm really nervous." I was so nervous that I felt like I was going to throw up.
Yes.
So then from that point, I stayed in the back seat of the car. And mind you, there's nobody in the passenger side in the front. So he's driving me there. And I just started breathing and praying, but I mainly just started breathing to calm my nerves, to calm my energy, so I can open up and relax and receive whatever was going to happen. But I was really nervous. I was really, really nervous. And I just kept breathing and breathing, not really having any conversation. And how I knew it was going to be okay is that when we got there, he called her and he said, "We're downstairs." And she said, "You don't see Rocky?" And Rocky is somebody who's been in my life forever. Um, but I hadn't seen him in years either. And James said, "No, he's not down here." We were coming in one door and Rocky was coming in the other door. And I knew it was going to be okay because I said, "Okay, I got my buffer." Yeah.
And so he went with you to see your mom too?
Yes, we all went upstairs together.
Oh, that is so. Thank you so much, Angel. Just
Yes.
thank you, thank you, thank you. I mean, I'm holding back tears right now because that is really a very courageous, courageous step and so needed. I mean, you freed yourself up, you freed your mom up, you freed your husband up, you freed right. I mean, everybody has been affected by this
Yeah.
freedom that you've granted yourself.
My daughter had made a post that she was proud of her Grammy last night because my daughter is an adult. She's a full grown adult. And for the last 5 years, she's been my eyes to make sure my mom is okay. She's
Mm,
been the buffer, but she's been the receiver of a lot of the harsh negative comments that my mom would make about me, and it was
mhm.
getting to the breaking point where my daughter was like, I don't know if I could call grandma today. Like, I can't deal with her energy today because it was so negative." But my mom does. I don't think she realizes that when she talks bad about me, you're talking bad about me to my daughter. And
Yes.
so I think it freed up 5 people.
I'm sure more than that, but just the rippling effects, that's what's so powerful about
Hmm.
doing the work of Master Force and just even taking responsibility for our own healing, regardless
Right.
if it's Master Force. There's many, many programs out there. But whenever we heal ourselves, I mean, it has such a rippling effect,
just
you
the
know.
thought, just the thought, like I said, okay, by the end of this year, I'm gonna call my mom. But I didn't act on it, but I put that thought in the universe
Yeah.
and it just magnified on such a level that she requested to speak to me.
Right. She opened the door. You didn't even
Right.
have to, yeah, insist or
Hmm.
anything. Very good.
Right.
Thank you. Thank you. Okay, so I'm gonna come back to you. I'm gonna bring Alanda into the conversation. Alanda, what was there for you as you were listening to Angel talk about her pain?
Oh wow. Can you all hear me pretty good now?
Well, we can hear. It's just that as you start talking, it goes
Okay.
in and out.
I'm
So
gonna stop moving. I'm gonna stop moving around so much. Okay. What showed up? What really resonated with me is my own healing with people in my past that brought me to my present. I ain't gonna say from my childhood all the way up, so I can identify with a lot of the psychological. I had physical abuse in my life. I grew up in a family that physical abuse was okay. But the abuse I understood as a child, the very first time that my mother went too far, because I whippings were one thing, but when I got hairs, that I realized at that point I started connecting um to like her father. She beat me. I started identifying how the effect was. So for a long time with her, I did not know in future relationships that I equated, you making up that they love you, things like this is going to happen. It's just that this is how we make up for it. So I spent a lot of my life wrongs that I would make somebody else mad. So the psychological effect is real. Oh my gosh. It's just when I just started thinking about my own experience. And I remember for a long time ducking. I remember people would walk past me and I would just duck, thinking I'm about to get hit. Grandmother, she used to sneak attack us. When you think everything is, you don't know you did something wrong. Was it, kids? I learned that years, that children don't remember, unless you remind them. So she didn't do that. Won't walk up on us and pop, whack, whatever. And you thinking like, what? So that a long-term effect. And even my ex-husband, when I first reacted that way, he thought it was funny. And I didn't think anything about it because I was funny, but he started doing things, and I had no idea this was part of us emotional abuse. Was there some of the things? So the pain that I realized, I heal from back, and I had no idea. None of this started coming up until older years, 35, 30, 35, 38. Even before I identified it, I did not realize how depressed I was. and happened, know that it was depression, so we're taught in our community, depression is just, oh, it's nothing, you should get over it. And it's really not that simple. Psychological abuse is it's so deeply rooted, like a ghost. And it's interesting because I start writing and I'm not finished because I want to articulate it in such a way that I'm telling a compelling story without being so personal. You know what I mean? I want it for everybody that can relate. So it creates effect, basically, and you're haunted by the same thing over and over again until you deal with it. So listening to Angel just really like, wow, my mom's not here back. And it was interesting because ago when I stayed at your apartment, I stayed at your place and everybody was gone out. They didn't come pick me up. And I had this thing about being left. And I felt that, why they doing this to me? Nobody come and get me. And I had to breathe to center because I had just master force curriculum. I had to do some deep breathing. I had to calm down because I was freaking out. And I had to really start thinking like, what is this? Why am I freaking out? Moment, I really realized that I had not grieved my mother.
Oh.
Time she had been 30 years.
Wow.
I had not grieved her death. And up at that moment, like, okay, this and this is how you deal with it. So the pain was definitely that. How I healed from that was showing up that this is how it was affecting everybody else. Because here I'm freaking everybody. Of course, I'm me freaking out. I'm cussing people out on why aren't you doing this? That kind of thing. But I didn't have anybody to get in contact with when had phones at the time. The phones that they had were whatever.
They weren't mobile like we have
but
now.
I couldn't get in touch.
Right.
Exactly. And it was so funny because this is only like 6 years ago. So they were mobile. It's just that I just could not get contact with them at that time.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, so that showed up for me. I did the deep breathing, and that's what got me present to my own hurt. That was just one of the things, and then it just opened up doors to so much other pain that I had just like, oh my God, I've been sitting on this. What? But then before that even happened, there's so many layers to pull back, so many layers of stuff. You have no idea. I'm not going to say you don't have any idea, but realize the layers of things that we just cover up. We don't deal with it.
Mm-hmm.
We chalk it up as from a religious perspective. It's a dark force. It's the devil. The devil's done it. Things like that. And it's really what it is. It's just you have so many layers of hurt. You have to start uncovering them. Otherwise, you will not know how great you are and how strong you are until you learn until you really be present to it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I didn't, like I said, back with the depression, the psychological thing, depression is, but you have to know how to identify it and work through it. So one of the I tell people this story. One of the third and final attempts. It wasn't, of course, I'm still here. It wasn't successful, but I tried several times. And one of the third times I did it, I was going to do it because I felt so defeated. I'm going through a divorce. My ex, he was just doing a lot of little things I felt that he was doing to me. But what it was just in a space about how powerful I was, because apparently powerful, I just didn't see the power that I had. And what stopped me was my daughter texting me right when I thought I was going to put the telephone down. Dramatic. And at the time I was rehearsing. I was on my way to a play rehearsal.
Mm.
I was going to put the phone down, and because all the other times I tried to do it, it didn't work. So like, if I jump in front of this train,
Wow.
and right when I was getting ready to put the phone down, I was getting ready to text everybody like the message I was going to leave. My daughter at the time, she's 17 now. She had to be like, so yeah, she had to be 11. Text me and like, Mommy, I love you. I can't wait to see you. I just
Wow.
lost it. Crying and crying. People asking me, I'm okay. I just had to go gather myself and realize. And at that moment, just like what Angel just said, how she just felt her earth shook. It's like something just like opened up. Like something just opened up. And I'm like, wait a minute. Are you kidding? I finally had that after I cried and I got angry. And I believe I'm going to let, I had to start cussing, of course, but that was part of the power that opened up to, I started the curriculum, force curriculum.
Wow.
That was, yeah.
That is really very revealing on so many levels, because of course, you're talking about when you were at my apartment and this was trauma, this was brought up for you, and then me having the relationship that I have with your mom, who was like my best friend in the family. And, I did see some of the things that you went through. I didn't know about the down the stairs, And I also know that because of the work that we've done, we've been able to uh, heal a lot of the violence in our family. You see, like, but there's a generation of children that don't experience that violence the way that we did,
Yes,
and that
absolutely.
is absolutely amazing, that and I can own it. I can own it. It used to be hard, but it's like, no, this is because we're literally healing ourselves, doing our work, and it trickles down. It trickles down to our cousins, our nieces, our nephews, our children. So that is
Absolutely.
that is really I'm just grateful. I'm really grateful. So,
Yeah.
so you said you do
Yeah.
breathing too. Do you or Angel want to take us through a breathing exercise? So that people can experience, some of this breathe to center. Either one of you,
Angel, you want to?
you want to?
I'll follow your lead.
No, you follow her lead.
Yeah, she's the,
You follow my lead.
because I've been breathing. I've been doing a breathing technique prior to
Yeah. Well,
learning.
any breathing is yeah.
Yeah, I learned it from a martial arts point of view, which it does coincide. It just works for me, and I
Well,
do not
ours
mind.
is from a master. Yeah, it
Yeah,
really is from a. It is the breathing that they teach in martial arts,
martial arts. Yeah,
with the exception that we maintain our breath. We don't breathe out the mouth, so that we
right,
keep all of our chi
right,
inside.
right.
Um, and it doesn't. Nothing's wrong if you do. But we want to keep our energy all inside and maintain that. That stillness for
So
ourselves.
yeah, and I love that to keep the chi inside because
Mm-hmm.
the Qigong breathing is a little different. When I breathe the center, I take a full deep breath into my lungs, and my feet are flat, my palms are up, facing up, my
Mm-hmm.
shoulders are relaxed. I'm in a neutral seated position, breathing in deeply, inhaling, filling my lungs completely up. However, I'm compressing my abdomen, but I'm filling it up at the same time. And then when I exhale through my nose, I'm squeezing my abdomen tighter. So I'm in control of all the oxygen that I take in and the release of it. And I do it on a timely, in a time frame where when I inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4, I hold, and then I can focus on what I'm letting go. And I'm letting it go. All the negativity, all the hostility, and I'm going to intake all the love and all the joy that my lungs and my heart can feel. And I'm filling up my lungs. I'm filling up my abdomen while keeping it compressed. I hold and I enjoy that moment, and I exhale it out again. And I repeat that cycle over and over for a period of 4 to 5 breaths, keeping my shoulders, being mindful of the tension that comes in my body, being mindful of the feeling, the tingling feeling that I get in my hands and in my legs, because I'm bringing joy in and I'm releasing all negativity. I'm bringing in positive thoughts and I'm releasing all tightened, burdened energy. And that's how I prepare to move forward.
Okay, I went in. Thank you, and I just want to say to everyone that part of our curriculum is that we spend a full week inside of the conversation called Breathe to Center. That is our first week course for you to learn the power of your breath. And then as we go deeper into the work that we do, we actually do have you get the power of the breath to heal. And then we get you to see the power of your breath to tap into some of the magical manifestation abilities that you would have.
Mm-hmm.
So, that's why we wanted to share a little bit about, and again, I love the twist that you put on it, Angel. As far as I'm concerned, if people are just breathing deeply into their belly so that they're engaging their diaphragm,
Mm-hmm.
and really allowing themselves to be enhanced by more oxygen coming in and the releasing of the carbon monoxide that gets into our system when we don't breathe properly.
Right. When I studied just the breathing technique through martial arts, I was I always associate the style with the martial art practice because we would do it before and after we would start to spar and things of that nature. However, my greatest story actually comes from you.
Uh-oh.
Um, Me and my buddy, we had to come to your home one day, and you told us be on time, and I got things to do afterwards, so I had to come after work, and I'm rushing, and I'm getting to your house, and then I was so ironic. I used to live across the street from you when I first moved to Chicago,
Wow.
so when I had the address, I'm like, oh, I know where I'm going. Man, I could not find your apartment. And I'm like outside that gate, like, I got to get in here. And my energy started to get tight because I think I was in traffic. And it was like I had to get there because you let us know, be on time. And my time was already pressured because I had to go to work and come to
Mm-hmm.
you after work. And man, when I finally got behind the gate and got into your apartment, I was so frazzled. You said, okay, okay, sit down, have a seat. And I had a seat, and you
I
said,
hope I didn't sound like that.
no, 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 you didn't say. You said, have a seat. And I'm trying to explain to you why I was like a little tardy. And you said, I need you to be present. Just breathe and let's be present. And we went through the breathing technique of, my feet being flat and relaxing. And those 3 breaths, that was the first time ever that I've ever had the breathing practice where it was like the goal is to be present in this moment right now. Forget the traffic, forget what let that go. Because if I wouldn't have done the breathing to center technique to be present, I most likely would not have been able to receive the lesson.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that my greatest lesson for that to be present came from you.
Well, wonderful. I'm glad to hear that. I know sometimes when clients call and they're hysterical, one of the first things that I say to them is catch your breath and call me back because I can't hear you. you know,
Right,
and
right.
you really, and I guess I can be pretty firm about, you know, about the breathing, and it's inside of like really wanting to serve you in that moment and have you get your power.
hmm
I mean,
Right.
that's, yeah, just like it's all good, you're safe, you're here, and and it's like you're okay.
But I used that it was instantaneous for me to learn to be in the present. So when I was explaining to you, like I don't think I explained it, I'm sorry. But with my current job, my 9 to 5,
Mm-hmm.
I'm an administrator, I'm a supervisor. So I have direct reports. And they come to me with personal issues and work related issues. And the one thing we do is we get present. What's going on right now? I can't afford to waste this time dealing with anything outside of what's right now. And when I tell you, I get the title super super. Thank you for listening. Putting everything in perspective because a lot of other coaching comes in, but once I get them to be present, right here, right now, and it's just we can move forward much faster.
Wow, that is really, really wonderful to hear.
hmm
Alanda, what would you add to that?
Oh my goodness. I we were switching out mic. Sorry about that.
That's okay.
Whew.
Did you hear? Did you hear some of that? Did you? We were
I
just
just
talking.
heard the tail. I just heard the tail end. So I
Mm,
will just
yeah, so we're just really talking about the breathing, like how she used breathing to get present. And for you, you talked a little bit about breathing. Is there anything else you would want to add to that?
taking my time because I had to breathe while we were switching out the microphones before I started. Like,
Oh, because he could actually hear what was going on
yeah,
too.
he heard it. Yeah.
Yes.
Yep.
Hmm.
Yep. And
Okay.
I asked him to do it. So that's why I was like, yeah, oh my God, that's so much came over me at that moment, just now.
Yes. Oh,
Yeah,
I see
the
you were sending me
breathing
a message too.
helps.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. The breathing has helped so much. And while you were talking, Angel, it took me back to a time when Auntie Rita was having us to do it. It was around at her place in Chicago, like 101st or something like that. I can't remember the address. And I remember it was the solstice, I believe, and you had the food out with everything, and we were all supposed to come to the front. We had to doing a meditation, and it was hilarious to us because this is weird. We're like, oh, we're not going to be getting into all of
Yeah, the
that,
teenagers, y'all were
and
too young to appreciate my efforts.
we were, and it was just like, but even though I wanted to do it, it was so much that I wanted to do that you did that I just couldn't, I didn't know how to be present to it. I'll put it that way. I didn't know how to be present. And also being always stuck out. So that was another thing about this psychological thing, because my cousins, I was the one that's just, this one, the weirdo, it was just really something else. So being that you were doing this, it was just like, okay, I'm not going to, comedy and be the clown. Other is what pretty much the chain of events. I just cracked jokes all night.
Oh my goodness.
And yeah, because I just had to deal with, that's how you deal with the being uncomfortable.
Yes.
So the sense of center, just I'm saying all this, center helps you ground yourself. It keeps me from being sarcastic.
Mm-hmm.
It keeps me from saying the wrong. And it does bring you to a presence to actually give you perspective on what thinking at that moment, because your reaction, sometimes you have to, sometimes can't react.
Yeah.
And that's what showed up for me all right now. Like I said, this whole thing with the microphone and what time, how timely is this?
Well, and that's the thing about technical things, is that we have to include them. First of all, we're going through a Mercury retrograde, so we know that part of what our work is going to compensate is some kind of technical something, right? So we just have to include it. I like for us to consider that pain or being uncomfortable or not liking the way something is going truly gives us an opportunity to tap into a part of ourselves that we don't even know yet. So when we take on avoiding pain or resisting it, like when it comes at us, we push it away. It's like, say for instance, when people get headaches, right? They get a headache and the first thing that they do is they take an aspirin. Well, you miss the opportunity to find out what has triggered that headache. There's a communication going on in your body. There's something that's being explained to you from a part of you that may not, be present to it. So if you hold up, I'm not saying don't take the aspirin, but if you first go into a conversation about what could this be telling me, you may discover an aspect of yourself that you had silenced or that you didn't even know was there because you're allowing yourself to hear it. So when I was 17, I broke my hip, thigh, and knee, and that was my initiation into actually the healing arts, into Master Force, because I had no idea that the body would heal itself with your thoughts. I had never heard of anything like that. And as I studied that and read up on it and actually used it to knit the bone back together in my leg, the first thing I thought about after doing that was, why aren't they teaching us this?
Yep.
This literally should be in school. This should be something that we should learn right away, that you could literally, if you burn yourself, put your hand on there and tell it to heal. Tell it to heal. But instead, we have taught our children to say, take me to the emergency room. Take me to the doctor. Give me some medicine. All of that is a usurp of power from ourselves. So now we're having a conversation about how does pain heal. We're asking people to consider that pain is a communication for us to pay attention to and not necessarily get rid of.
Right.
Now, who wants to speak to that a little bit more?
I will.
Okay, go ahead.
Exactly what you're saying is that with our children, and I can remember when Iva, my daughter, she probably killed me for saying her name. When she used to cry, I used to get so frustrated because I'm like, don't cry, stop crying, because my heart would just ache. I didn't want her to feel any pain. But then, I learned that she needed to have her own experiences. She had to toughen up. She had to gain her own resilience. And how would she toughen up? How would she become resilient if she didn't have her own pain? If she didn't go through her little struggles, her boo-boos, I fell down, I bruised my knee. Okay, what happened to the days of, okay, get up and go do it again?
Yes.
Get up and go do it again. Toughen up.
Yeah.
And I think that is a lot of problems with what's going on with the kids being bullied today. And bullying is not acceptable. However, the kids, we want to protect them so much because they're in this information world where all this technology, people can hide behind it. It's a lot of how parents want to protect their children, opposed to giving them the tools to cope with the pain that they feel, allowing them to express the pain that they feel so they can build up a resilience to it.
That is so well stated. The idea that you can stop your child from having pain is just not. It's scary. First of all, when you know that you're strong because of the pain that you went through and survived in your own life. But no, you want to stop your child from having pain, then how will they know who they are?
Right.
And this is what we're seeing in society. And people want to say, oh, the children are entitled and that's on us. We are the ones that did not allow them to participate inside of the struggle. Oh, you can't struggle anymore. But wait a minute, didn't the struggle make you who you are?
Right.
So
where are they going to get their mental toughness from? Where are they going to get their psychological toughness from? Where are they going to get their physical toughness from? If you just keep blocking all the pain.
Mm-hmm. And quickly, hurry up and give me a shot. Hurry up and give me a pill. Hurry up and knock me out, instead of really saying, now, how strong am I? What can I endure?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Very cool. So now you both talked about the pain that you've had to go through with forgiving your mother and even being inside of abuse and relationships. Now, I want us to make sure that we're not telling people to go through those things for the sake of it, but what is it that you want to say to them and how to use pain in those situations to grow beyond it?
Yeah, Alanda, I was listening to her. I was actively listening to her. And one thing that she said is that sometimes you don't even recognize that you're suppressing something. And I think that what we do, we become so good of moving around the situation because we don't want to deal with it, or we'll suppress it. And I remember a time I suppressed an issue that also changed my life to the point where my throat used to hurt because I never ever spoke on it. I never spoke on it. And when I did speak on it, when I had the opportunity, it was 10 years later. And that's when I did the fist hitting thing. And, I cleared my throat very well. But we suppress things so much that you feel it, but you want to ignore it, but it's gonna keep recalling itself. It's going to continue to show up in your life in one form through one person or another until you recognize what it is and you face it. You face the
Yes.
fear, you face the pain because you just don't want to feel the pain. And who, like, really realistically, when you think about pain, it's going to hurt, but you have to face it. Just like you have to face the fear, you have to face the pain and you have to say, okay, let me go through this. Let me acknowledge you. Let me see what this is really going to do to me because I can't continue on this path of ignoring you because you're ignoring it. You're not really ignoring it. You keep delaying it and then it keeps coming back stronger.
It
Then you
gets
try to
bigger and
it
bigger.
gets bigger and bigger and bigger. And you keep trying to delay it. I'm going to suppress it a little more, but you can't. You actually can't. And I was listening to this doctor, and he was talking about the pain, how when you keep trying to suppress it and you don't acknowledge it, the things that you do to yourself internally. You know, you bring on physical pain from your emotional pain because the energy is not moving itself.
Mm-hmm.
You have to face it. You have to, really just move on. The study was that people who acknowledged and accepted and, you know, was motivated by their pain because you can become motivated by your pain because you
Yep.
got to take action.
Yep.
So when you're motivated by your pain to take action, those people who took action versus the people who don't are much more happier. I can honestly say, with all the trials and tribulations and all the abuse and pain that I've endured, I can say honestly, wholeheartedly, I am a happy being right now. I'm very happy. And I don't have a social media life. I have Angel's life and it's very good. I love where I am right now. I feel like the
Yes.
70-year-old lady who can say what she wants, but I don't, you know what I mean?
I
How
do know.
when
Yes.
you reach a certain age, you have this certainty about yourself. You have this security, this assurance, and when you say whatever it is you're going to say, the knowledge behind it is factual. So
Very.
I actually feel wise beyond my years from the pain that taught me and that I grew through.
That is powerful. That is powerful. Thank you so much. What would you add to that, Landy? That was well
Oh
said.
my goodness. Oh my gosh, that was good. Really, you just let me just recognize some things, and I realized that I've been through. Like you do, you put off stuff. You don't want to deal with it because it's gonna hurt. The analogy I just come up with was losing teeth. You losing teeth, and to ease the kids to realize, that it's worth it. You tell them about the tooth fairy. They're looking forward to pulling those teeth. It's the pain just from that little bit. It's like, okay, once it comes out, like, oh, yeah. But as you said before, when you suppress something, it gets currently what I've seen since I guess I'd say since the summer. I've been working on my about chakras. I've been working on my own body.
Mm-hmm.
And I realized that all the pain that I've been through, like, okay, I'll get that pain. The very last thing that I totally am working on is a challenge, and is the whole. I know this is gonna hurt. I know that you're not to hurt, but it's gonna be some discomfort. Why is it just because it's something that I've been forward to, and it's not even that. So what happens? The things I've been ignoring, and to get my attention, it shows in my physical body, in my face. It shows up, and so even though the releasing weight, like, okay, oh, okay, I'm releasing weight. Then I have this thing what people call it going through life changes. Acne. Never had acne before in my life. Never. this coming from? So what I go back into, I go in. Like I had to go and really meditate on what's happening. And as Angel said, it's really resonated with me because I've been having these dreams. And the dream is one dream I had. I met my guides, and one is is an Asian lady that drives a Galaxy blue car. And in this dream, I had these bags with me, and she was taking me to this bus station, but taking me to the bus, and I had to. And then when I finally caught the bus, I had a bag. I had to leave it. She said, "No, leave it here." And she had this car full of it. She said, "Leave it." So I'm getting in. I still had this one bag. I'm trying to struggle with up this bus going. And then, and you people are gonna laugh. Prince is behind me, and he said, "Give me the bag. I'll take it." Oh, okay. And I had to, I was like, "Oh, okay." And, I said, "Oh, I got to go back and get my other stuff." And so it's so funny because more I was trying to go back and get this stuff, I couldn't find it. What up for me in this dream is let it go. Even when and that really, I know we've been speaking about releasing weight and not losing it. I've been talking about releasing weight and say, stop trying to find excuses. No, stop trying to find excuses to hold on to stuff. And when that showed up for me last week, I was like, oh, okay. And that's when I started just showing, like, oh, my water intake has increased. My body, just listening to my body. I'm like, a headache comes on. I don't have them, but it's just that I don't run to the cabinet. I haven't did that in years, but being able to have this information to actually help people. And a lot of people don't want to meditate. Like, I'm at the center, I'm hurting right now, so the physical pain is one thing, but when you go on through, Angel said, that you deal with that as, not having this technology, what we use information. How do you do that? You have to take a stand that you want this to stop hurting. You want to stop hurting. That's when the info are opening up for you. Pay attention to your dreams. Get a dream journal. Well, I know we haven't talked about that yet, but journal things down. If you have a dream, your dreams tell you things. And this is kind of like a portal opening up to certain pain. That's what I would add to that.
Oh, that's powerful. So it's a couple of things that I want to just insinuate or emphasize. When you talked about releasing weight, one of the things that we're probably going to see a lot more of in society is women slimming down, because the change that's happening, to the world, with us being able to own ourselves as powerful, beautiful, and sexy without worrying about somebody molesting us or raping us is coming true. Sometimes weight is it serves as a form of protection. If I don't look attractive to you because you're not interested in thick women, then there's less of an opportunity for you to take advantage of me. So there's that conversation. And then the other thing is when you need help with the pain, we talked about the breathe to center, but there's also emotional freedom technique, like really tapping. We go through that process where we teach people about the tapping. We also talk about the Bach flower remedy. You can Google that, Bach flower remedy, and they have, I think, 38 different flower essences. And I've probably gone through all of them because at some point it connects to the work that your soul is doing, and it opens you up based on the type of symptoms that you have. And you mentioned journaling. Journaling is a wonderful way of emptying your brain so that you can, first of all, get to the other layers that are trying to come across. We tend to keep everything in our mind, and in the mind, the brain is designed to create. So you keep putting in stuff and you're not really telling it what to do, you're just creating chaos. Just a lot of stuff is going to happen. So when you journal, you have the opportunity to let some of that out. And that's, I don't know, that I think that's where some of our most amazing writers come from, you know, because they write out their pain. What were you saying? Who was saying that?
Well, I know that's I went back and looked at some things that I started writing in like 2000 and writing. Been writing ever since I was a kid, but I really started writing out a lot of my pain and did not realize how much pain I was in. And I've written some really good and revisit some of this stuff. But yeah, you're right. Writing and your imagination, I have a very expansive imagination. So that has helped me. That was an escape for me out of a lot of things, that pain. Right. Before I wasn't even journaling yet. I was just creating these stories because in my mind, before forgiving them, I killed them in stories. That's how I'm saying. That's how I started learning how to forgive, letting go. So, and it's sometimes I get writer's block now because now I can't do any harm to people. So that's a whole nother story.
Right. The writing for me, I used to write. I actually have a couple of journals that, like Alanda, I wasn't journaling because I didn't even really, I just knew to write things down. And, but I wasn't even releasing the feelings that I was going through. I just used to write, and I still have those writings. However, I think I posted to you guys that I was really going through a lot of stuff since I have to. I'm going to be talking about pain. I'm really being tested. And Kiana said, make sure you journal. So man, I started journaling, and then what was happening for me when I started journaling it was the answers were magnifying themselves.
Wow.
Not the situation, but the answers were magnifying themselves. And then I'm like, okay. And I kept like, I would stop what I'm doing and I would like try to capture whatever feeling I was feeling because I was having all these wow moments and dang. And like, my nephew, he recently had posted something and I responded to him, based on what I was going through last week. Let's navigate this. Let's use this and navigate our way through it, because how you navigate your way through it determines how you use your pain and how successful you're going to be and stuff of that nature. But this was the first time that I journaled where it had an intention behind it.
Wow.
Yeah.
No, that's powerful. I know that journaling can be effective when we talk about recapitulation. Recapitulation is just the process of recapping, and most of the time people recapitulate at the end of their life where they're talking to a priest. Mm-hmm. And wanting to be forgiven, absolved from their sins. But I remember a few years ago reading a book that Deepak Chopra shared, and he talked about, using recapitulation every day, as a form of releasing and cleansing yourself so that you have more room to experience your living.
Right.
Because we have a tendency to hold on to so many things that our world gets smaller and smaller and smaller because we haven't allowed ourselves to just integrate our experiences. We make judgments. That's not good. That's not good. That's not good. So everything that we say is not good, we shrink, Well, if an experience is an experience, we don't have to make it good or bad. Because we can learn something from it. We can actually take it on as something that our soul intended for us to know. And, again, we came here on a mission with something to do, right? Very cool. Alanda, what were you going to say? Did I see you saying something? Oh, no. Oh, you're muted. Did I see you saying something? Oh. There you go. Did your mic go out? Can you hear me?
Hear
There
me?
you
There we
go.
go. Here we go.
Yeah.
There we go. All right.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, yeah, that nutshell. And I'm just sitting here thinking about that. And, I'm thinking about some of the current issues, with the epidemic
Yeah.
and the
Hmm.
drug epidemic. And a lot of times, not just that people get hooked on, get hooked on these things, it's just a pain. It probably can't even explain, and it makes them feel good because it makes them feel better than what they were feeling before they started. So all that what you just said is resonated with me and just really made me think about it the same way, because we do live in a very judgmental world, and that is a lot of pressure. And just being acceptance, everybody nurtured. And journaling is one thing. And I had a client. I don't like writing. I don't want to write a journal. I want to do art. That's okay. Paint.
Hmm.
Journal, yeah, speak it out, or just get a recorder. There's different ways of journaling. It's not just writing. I get it. And just so it's a everyday work. I would tell a lot of my clients that it's a work every day. We're working on peeling back layers. There's things that surprise me that we're all a work in progress. We are like a tree. Trees get, we gain leaves, we go through the seasons. We are just like a tree until, when you stop learning, it's time, you die. So every day is an opportunity to get through. And it's not just like getting through pain. It's not go look, don't just look for improvement. That's what I would say. If there is improvement that that you want to manifest or live or be adventurous, there some people can't identify, like we said earlier, suppress, you know just so detrimental to what we were saying. But there still may be something that is experienced that you stuck on something. And how do you just be open to wanting to know the answers? Ask the question,
Yeah.
the answer.
It's so
You
exciting that you say that, because most people live their life trying to prove themselves instead of living life like an adventure. Like, I don't have to know
Yes.
where I'm going. I mean, who said you have to know what you're doing and where you, I mean, really, who said that? Who made that up? What about, maybe just, I like what Angel said. She said, acting like you're a 70-year-old woman and you could just think of something to do when you want to do it.
Or a 7-year-old kid.
A 7-year-old kid, have the experience. Yeah. So any of those would would open us, to more experiences, new experience, because most of the time we confine ourselves to, I have to do this job, I have to make money, and it's just not true. It's just not true. We've taken that on, but maybe there's something else that we can create. And, it's really great because all week we will explore those different dynamics. I already hear the mirror work, the shadow work, the chakra work, and how nutrition fits into that. It all ties into, today's conversation. And as we're coming to the end of our evening, is there any last words that you guys want to share? You want to talk about, let people know how they can connect with you, or if you have any offerings that you'd like to share, why don't you go ahead and do that, and then we can sign off for day one.
All right. I can go. I will go. If you all would like to follow me, you can go to my fan page, Alanda fan page, or GoldieLovesYou.com. Every year, this time of year, we enter, we're preparing for the new year. So I do have a offer. It's a new you, happy new year course. And what I do is We set it's a and if you want more information about that, you can go to our Ignite Your Soul Connection page. Links will be up later.
Yeah.
That's pretty much how you can do this. Look me up. Goldie Loves You. It's Goldie with the letter U. It's out there. Just Google it and you will see my beautiful face.
Yes. Okay. What about you, Angel?
I'm on social media. I'm on Facebook as Angel Elliott Denman, and I'm on Instagram as Angel Denman. Um, I'm definitely obtainable and reachable, and I would love for someone to, ask me some questions and let's start a relationship on this coaching idea. I
Yeah.
love coaching. It's very good. It's very therapeutic without it sounding medicinal.
Wonderful. And you guys, if you anybody listening, either now or later, you can send emails to igniteyoursoulconnection@gmail.com. And if you want to send something specific to Angel or Alanda, just put their name, include their name in the email, and we will get that information to them. And with that said, we will post any references or any information. We will put their contact information on the Ignite Your Soul Connection fan page on Facebook. So visit us there. And just thank you so much for being here. And, I really, again, I just want to acknowledge you fully, Angel, in putting yourself into this part of the work. You did a fabulous job. I enjoyed
Thank
talking
you.
with you. I enjoyed you sharing your stories, sharing yourself. And then I also enjoyed that you invested in the work to the point that you got your relationship with your mom.
Thank
That's
you.
just such a beautiful gift, to us, for us, and those who are watching who may need that for themselves. So, just thank you for doing that. And, I don't know if I had a chance to share with you how excited I was when when Harold's Chicken, you all gave food, you fed the homeless on Thanksgiving.
Mhm.
I thought that was just so phenomenal. It's just such a beautiful gift to the community again. And I just love that you guys are out there like that. So thank you.
Thank you.
And maybe next time include us and we can all help too, put the little hats on.
Well, thank you. Thank you so much. And thank you for Master Force because, as I stated before, I've been looking to become a life coach for many years, but they weren't right for my soul. They
Hmm.
were not right.
Well, thank you. Thank you. And Alanda, just really, thank you for just always being open to expanding yourself, being transparent, just being someone who is in life, and exposing yourself and allowing other people to see you as you are and giving them a chance to see what it looks like to be on the path doing the work. you know I think that is so significant because most people want to do the whole looking good. I'm perfect, I'm this, I'm that, and it's like the only true perfection is really just like you're talking about, improving ourselves, getting, doing, allowing ourselves to be who we are right now instead of trying to get someplace to say I'm perfect. So just thank you for being that, and then thank you for being my niece, someone who's ride or die. You've been like that with me for forever, and I
It's
just
my
thank you.
absolute pleasure.
Hmm.
It's my absolute pleasure. I'm down for you. I'm down,
Yeah.
always down.
Yeah.
And yeah, and allowing me to be this Gemini, this so colorful, and being who I am, because I am this person that I hid for a long time, and I did not have a voice. I did not like my voice, and I did not who I was because of all the things I was told I wasn't. So I thank you for even holding the space for me. Thank you for finally got on board with it. Thank you for just you being generous to give give into me, and mom helped me tremendously. So I do want to thank you, and thank you, Angel, for being part of this, because she was in my circle. So
Yeah,
thank you.
Thank
She has
you.
inspired me. Oh my God, Angel
totally.
has inspired me as well. Somebody.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
Yeah, the reason that we call it coaching for the soul is because we really do want people to get in touch with their own blueprint instead of going by, when you're born, you're supposed to do this, 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 and this. Well, how about when you're born, you're supposed to get to know who you are?
Right.
You're supposed to connect with your soul, and you're supposed to check in and see, what am I here for? Because going through that birth canal, we forget. So we actually have people get back in touch with that, with that aspect of themselves that they don't know. And again, until you know who you are, it's very hard to experience your greatness, let alone anyone else's greatness. People compete. People talk about haters. I said, I don't know about haters because that is not any of my business. Why would I be concerned about how someone feels about me when my biggest job is how I feel about me? That's what my work is every day, not worrying about what someone else thinks or how they feel. So when I'm in touch with my soul, I get possessive. I want to own that space and be that space. So thank you, thank you, thank you. I can say that we have completed day 1 of Ignite Your Soul Connection Season 8. Yay!
Yes.
All right, everybody, join us tomorrow night when we're going to be talking to another one of our newer coaches, Lisa Anderson, and we will be talking about mirror work. So tune in again with us at 7:30, and we look forward to seeing you. Good night.